I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
All right, we had some technical difficulties, everybody. I'm so sorry, but we're on air, and so we are back. All right, so uh, we know what we've been doing, and what we're getting ready for tonight is another navigating the VA system part 2. And so this one to me, I like it, John, because uh, I think that uh, for like our listeners and everybody else, a lot of them are going to know the system, but a lot has changed with VA.gov and what My HealtheVet. A lot
Yeah.
lot has changed, and so let's kind of go a little bit through everything. And I do apologize once again, everybody, for the delay. We did have some technical difficulties that we're going to have to really work on for next week. And so, but it's good. It all worked out so far. So I can
Yeah.
hear you. You can hear me.
Yeah. It's plus.
All right. So let's get into this. All right. So I first want to start off. I went ahead and I took images of.
I don't know if you can hear me, Kevin, but you froze up.
Can you hear me fine? Okay, I lost John for a second. That's kind of been our technical difficulties. But we're going to keep going through with this, and John's back. Hey, John, how you doing, bud? Welcome back.
Good. Sorry, you froze on me there a second.
Yeah, okay. Here we go, man. So I brought this up, and this is to me is one of the key pages of My HealtheVet, which is also
Yep.
now VA.gov. And so I want to reference pharmacy up here, if you can see it. So pharmacy is where we all get our prescriptions and everything. I learned a little secret about when you click on the pharmacy button. If you don't get a message within 48 hours that your prescriptions are on the way, you go back in the pharmacy and see what's going on, and you immediately start sending your doctors, all your doctors, and then include the what are them people when you go and complain?
You're
Patient advocate,
advocate.
an advocate, the
Yeah.
patient advocate. You
Yep.
can include them on it, and then they'll go in and they'll check it. And so then I'm going to go down to appointments. Appointments, right here, you can click on them. VA sends me messages, and I like to go in, and if you need to see what part of, appointments are appointments, what time you need to be there, what location, messaging, right here, messages. Always include your primary care physician when you include all your other doctors, because that way it keeps your primary care physician up to code, I guess, through the VA and the advocate if you have a serious message going out. Health records. This is one everybody asks me the most of. As a matter of fact, today, John, to let everybody know, I did send an email into, I guess, soon to be President Trump and his team about I want to be the VA secretary. So if anybody high up is listening, would like to tell Trump or any of them that I would like to be the VA secretary, please send them all emails. I think we should inundate them with emails about making a veteran in charge of the VA system. And there was a gentleman that was in there that he's just started to go. He's like 82 years old. He had an iPhone, so I got all this set up for him today. And I showed him about how to work the pharmacy, the appointments, the messaging, and health records. He is 100% disabled, John, and he never knew about these websites.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
He used an attorney to get there. And that's the one thing about it. Attorneys and them are not going to teach you how to use your health records like a veteran service officer does. And when you go to these clinics, they have big signs saying, hey, please, y'all sign up for My HealtheVet, which is va.gov, again. And so I start going through with them, and I start showing them, you can click on benefits, what benefits, Veterans Health Library. That was interesting. Community. And all this right here tells you, I don't know what anti-health texting is. I guess that's this down here where you click the button. It's VA Health Chat. I didn't want to click on it because I ain't texting anybody in the VA.
Let's talk just a brief moment about the pharmacy. So let's say you've gotten yourself all logged in, you're navigating for the first time, and you're going to need your medication refilled. So you click on pharmacy, and it should be able to go down. If you're logged in, it should say, okay, I'm on these various medications. And as you're looking at it, it'll tell you whether or not you can refill them or not. That, me personally, it's kind of quirky how they have that set up. Because if you need pain medicine, these medications, ladies and gentlemen, come from different parts of the country. Let me put that out there.
I learned that.
You order something, they say order 10 days in advance. And there's a reason. It seems like a long time. It is a long time, but you need that long for it to get to your location. I'm in the Midwest, and for example, if I take a sleep aid, I say a sleep aid, it might take every bit of 10 days to get to me. But if my pain medicine, which comes from the bigger hub up in Des Moines, that'll make it to me 1-2 days tops. So there is a difference. There is a method to the madness on your bottle that says order in 10 days prior, because they don't know what medication you have or what part, because they come from different parts of the country. So keep that in mind when you check pharmacy and you want this refilled.
I'm glad you said that, because also with the pharmacy, you're talking about the 10 days out. If y'all notice within 48 hours that you're not getting your medicine, y'all go in the pharmacy and check. Because some of my medicines don't show up as they're sending it to me. There's a tracking system inside, so you can track it. If it's but it tells me when it's sent out or not. And if it's not sent out, then I send everybody a message. So
I have not had a lot of luck with the whole tracking part of it. Have you?
No, because they always say it's delivered and it doesn't show up till the next damn day. They're like, oh, we delivered it. No, you didn't. But I'm going to go into the health records. And this is important if you're going to go file a claim, because this right here will tell y'all, you know, what the doctor says when you go in for the visit. And just to let everybody know, a little secret, they don't always put everything in there they're supposed to. Because I go in there, and when they don't check my heart, they don't check the, blood pressure and stuff like that, but they put in there that they do. And so it's crazy, man. It's just like, but this is the feature I want to focus on this evening, is this and a couple other things. And the whole health, I like the whole health app. I clicked on that. I just saw that. The mental health, actually, as soon as you click on it, at the very top it says crisis health line. When I click on mental health, it says, do you want to talk to somebody in mental health? I was like, no, I just want to click on the damn button. And so, but I want to go to actually the very next thing. And so I want to move me and you, buddy. And so, and I want to, this is the next one. So when you're on va.gov, have you ever seen this page, John?
No.
All right. So I'm going to zoom this in for everybody a little bit. It's home to va.gov, your personal information, pharmacy, get care, track health, research health, My HealtheVet community, secure messaging about contact, and you know what's new. Don't click the contact button, everybody, because I'm telling y'all right now, when you click on it, it comes up to, do you want to talk to somebody? It doesn't give you a phone number. But the what's new button is what's coming out new. And I realized that. I clicked on it. I was like, oh, crap, that's pretty cool, man. So it shows you upcoming stuff that is coming out with, like, you know, news of the VA, what they're changing up. And you can read all kinds of stuff.
I think a lot of stuff's going to be changing in the not too distant
right.
future.
But this is a new page form that I've never seen. And so, your whole personal information, you get care. And I wasn't going to click on that tonight because I didn't want everybody to see all my stuff. They probably wouldn't like it anyway. And, you can research your health. You can research other health, which I thought was a pretty fascinating little scenario. And then right here, this is something that I came across at the top when it says click on the PACT Act. The PACT Act, you can click for, like, go for Iraqi freedom vets, and even some for us. But I was like, I wonder if you type in the search bar, what comes up as Desert Storm? You see that? And
yeah.
Right here, it talks a lot about the airborne hazards and the PIT registry on My Health. Okay? If you have not signed up for the airborne hazards and the PIT registry, I suggest you sign up for every single one of these. I know it is a pain in the ass. I understand it is, but the reason you sign up for all these is because, just like Vietnam vets, when you sign up for all this stuff and they come back and they're like, oh yeah, well, he's on the airborne, he was in duty, they may retro some of that payback. And that is what I was told. And that's by somebody inside the VA. Was like, that's why you join the registry, because if they decide, hey, airborne hazards, and and you're signed up with it, they look on these registries and that helps them go back. And so, and now the other thing is with most of y'all know, I talk to each and every one of y'all, is that I was reading a statement in there. You can type in the presumptives up here. It will bring up presumptives. You can type in, Vietnam presumptives, Desert Storm presumptives, all that stuff. And it will come up with a list of everything. And this is in va.gov. And so I thought that was pretty fascinating when I typed this in, and this is what it comes up with. Because it doesn't, do you see anything about the PACT Act? Nothing in here about the PACT Act at all.
No.
So I thought that was.
Each person can navigate through this, and it's for us that have been doing it for a while. It still takes us some time. I would suggest, if you're a patient person, you got time, then you'll be fine. If you get impatient with myself, like when things aren't going right, it might behoove you to go sit down with your VSO officer or another fellow vet that has some understanding how it works, because it can get pretty frustrating to try and navigate things.
Oh, exactly. And so that's where we come back to here on the pharmacy, the appointments, and the messaging. And
messaging is huge.
I think that's the most. Documentation is the key, especially if you're trying to do your claims. Because believe it or not, you can actually message the doctor and you say, hey, this is not what you told me while I was in there. So are you trying to say that, I do, like, let's put it this way. There was an argument about my neuropathy, of what type it was, what caused it. And then they were like, yeah, we think it could be from the Gulf War. So I sent them a message. do you think it's from the Gulf War or do you think it might be? He had to answer one of them two questions. And so he answered it might be. It's a good possibility. I was able to take that and put that in with my claims because the doctor came out. And all they need is 50%. 50% of knowing if it could have been or not could have been. If you have 50%, they can rate it. If it's 50% or above, that a doctor actually says it is. But you didn't know that, John, did you?
Say that again.
Okay, so if you go in and you have a presumptive and you're out there and you have a doctor that writes in you have neuropathy, could be caused by B12, which I believe B12 could have been from the cause from Desert Storm. That's that key word, could have been from Desert Storm. That's 50% of if it is or if it isn't. It's a 50-50 shot. So if there's a 50-50 shot, your presumptives automatic. You're in the presumptives. It's automatically saying that, okay, it was. And so they use that. And I didn't know that until I talked to VS officer, which will have VS doctor, which we'll have that conversation with Ashley. I'm hoping next week when she comes on, because that's a really big one. And so navigating and what you say to the doctors are very important. And let me tell you, I'm just going to say it. Dan Crenshaw got back in the office. I'm not happy at all because they didn't give two shits about me whenever I messed up, when the pharmacy messed up my medicine twice. And I called them, nothing. They didn't give a crap, nothing. Ted Cruz office did the same thing to me. And these are my representatives. And so I learned to go straight to messaging, put in the patient advocate, and you can also put in the regional head boss in the messages too. You can put them all, link them all in there.
That way it's in black, way it's in print. You got proof that you sent it.
Right.
You know?
And so that's why it's important.
I didn't know that at the beginning. I'd make phone calls. It took, I don't know how long, but it took a while before I was aware of all this, because this is your connection to the VA. You know, yes, you can call, but you're going to be on the horn for a while.
And
you know,
and also in health records. I click on the health records. I just go through them. I update, go through them. But when I want to know what's on my problems list, you go to your blue button report and just type in all types of information. And that way you don't have to go and synchronize each little stupid thing that they have. I think that's so stupid.
It's going to take what, Kevin? About 3 days. Once you go to see the doctor, it's going to take approximately 3 business days for them to respond. It's not typically not same day sometimes, but they have, so I've been told, 3 days.
But in the blue button report, that's where it's important, is what's in your problems list. And that was the beginning problems of all my claims, because they were like, it's not in your progress report. And I was like, progress report? Yeah, your progress notes. And so then I went to my congressman and I said, hey, how do they prescribe you medicine at the VA without a diagnosis? They looked at me, they're like, what are you talking about? I said, well, look here. And I went to Blue Button, I brought it up, and in my progress notes, I didn't have any diagnosis. I said, but here's the list of medication I'm on. So I was like, so how are they legally, by law, allowed to give me medication without me having a diagnosis? And boy, they called up there and they chewed some ass, and all of a sudden my progress notes were full. I was like, okay.
Oh.
So that's another way of doing it. And I do believe, getting your congressman involved, if you can get a hold of them, I do believe that.
I will say this for myself: when I have problems, and I will send my doctor a message. Then depending on if it's specialty care or whatnot, then I send the nurses notes and I send this person notes and this person notes. And I actually had the doctor kind of get on my ass one time when I was in there. She goes, "Well, you got my nurses running all over the place." Because I wasn't getting a response. I wasn't getting an answer. So somebody eventually you're annoying enough and you're advocating for yourself at some point. Hey, they're forced to say, "Hey, yes, we see what you got going on. Come in so we can blah blah blah." We say it all the time on here, but if you do not advocate, you got to be somewhat. You got to be aggressive.
Okay,
Let's
now,
just put it
well,
that way.
not over
They're not
aggressive.
going to come knocking on your door.
Right.
What's that?
But, not over aggressive, but
Yeah.
aggressive. But Jason, Jason asked a good question. What evidence do you need with presumptives other than it says being a presumptive and persistent, and we need the et cetera, and they're breaking their own laws. And Jason's right. The only thing that you need is you need a good VSO officer, and if they keep messing with you on this, then you need a damn good attorney, because that's why they're presumptives. Presumptives means presumptively it happened to you while you were out there. It could have. That's what presumptive is. Presumptives it isn't an actual, oh, hey, it's might be, could have been,
And what was the one thing that Sean said, and you said it a multitude of times, if for some reason you get diagnosed with cancer, you want to have that taken care of ASAP, because that'll put you at 100% like
automatically.
Right now.
Yeah, there's a guy that works at our shop
Yeah.
that was a Vietnam vet. He was in the blue waters and he got cancer, and he didn't understand at all. I don't get why I file on this cancer. I said, because it was caused by Agent Orange, because they carried the Agent Orange out there. And as soon as he filed, they didn't even put a rush on it. I was like, what? And so I got all over his ass on how to get it rushed. There is a way to get it rushed. Your VSO officer can help you with that. But I mean, Jason's right. I mean, anytime that you go into the VA, 100%, and you file your first claims, they're going to deny you. Even though they're not supposed to deny you, they're going to deny you. It's called persistence. And I mean, the evidence that you bring forward to them, and which you literally have to have the diagnosis. I know people who have filed that doesn't have diagnosis. They were told, but they didn't put in their diagnosis or in their progress notes. So that's why your progress notes is really important. And
like you and I were talking earlier, Kevin, I don't know if we talked about, we're going to continue to have professionals on the deal. The CMP examiners, for example, they can tell you exactly what needs to be put on there and how to go about it.
Right.
Because he and I can share our personal experience, but we don't do it every day. Meaning we don't necessarily look at our information every day. But those professionals, if they do it every day, they can tell you this works. Don't do this or do this, because it's important to, don't try and do it on your own, because you're going to fail. There's a high percentile chance you're going to fail if you try and do this stuff on your own.
No, and of course, and this is another thing. And this right here is when you go into va.gov, this comes up automatically on my page, and it says, this is the one I was telling you about, the VA Blue Button Report. That one right there will give you a whole summary of 1 year. I think it only goes to 1 year. You can, I try to go back.
You can modify it.
Yeah, you can modify it. I don't. I just press all. And then My Health Summary. Well, I do, because in there, and so all y'all who live in rural areas like John, and for community care, I would like to show y'all something. You see this electronic record sharing options?
Yep.
You click on that, because I clicked on it and I gave anybody permission that I go on the outside to share all of my information to the VA.
I've
Yes.
never done that.
Yeah,
That'll do that?
it gives you, yeah, the electronic record sharing options. And if I have an outside doctor, I can type his name in, his address and everything. They send it over and they send it back and forth. It's in there. And then VA medical images and reports. I highly recommend you do not click on this button. If you go in, when I just want y'all to know, they told me that I had a mass or something in the back of my head, and I had to go, during a MRI. And so I had to go do a different MRI. They want to take pictures of it. And I waited 3 days before I talked to the doctor. I was like, hey, I'm going to click, what are VA medical images and reports? Let me tell you, I clicked on that stupid thing, and I read the report, and the first thing it says, it could be a possible mass. And they gave it some name. Then in little tiny fine print, it said possible fluid. Sinuses. And that's what it was. So they sent me to ear, nose, and throat doctor. They sent me to a neurologist. They're thinking, okay, we're planning a surgery on this thing. And man, that guy's like, man, why do they write this stuff in their reports on images? He goes, it is not a mass. It's a pocket of fluid. So he gave me some spray to go up nose, and boom, it drained out. And I was like, and that's sinusitis and rhinitis. This pockets of fluid.
So in other words, that'll make you nervous really quick.
So I never look at the images, but you can take the images and literally send this off to a doctor because it's in your file. If you click on images,
I've never done that.
Yeah, it shows pictures of every bit of the MRI that they did. And I'm panicking. I'm talking. So I go and I'm showing this doctor. He's like, oh, calm down. Let's wait. He's looking at it. And that's how we kind of figured it out. But, so just let y'all know, all the images, if you break your arm, your images are going to be on there. And so I kind of like to bring this up because this is really the VA Blue Button report. It's good if you want to know. It has everything on it. All your medicine. It's just a summary of the health summary. I saw the VA Blue Button. It's just an easier report than the health summary. And I was going to bring, I didn't even look at my last one that I did. And that's kind of, and back to this, y'all go in, if you're watching it again, type in Desert Storm, you'll come up, you will not see anything at all about the PACT Act for Desert Storm if you type it in. But you'll have there, airborne hazards, sign on that, and the burn and the pit registries. You notice it doesn't say and burn pit registry. These were on here, in 2021, 2022. If you look at the dates. So, that's actually that's basically the most important part of the VA system in my eyes. It's hard to navigate is going to va.gov and learn that va.gov doesn't have the My HealtheVet anymore like it used to. You got to go through, ID me and all this stuff. And if you're looking to know what your claim status and everything, one of the guys that comes in a barbershop, he actually looked up, it wasn't the va.gov, it was eBenefits. eBenefits shows more about your filings than what va.gov will. And it shows it faster. I don't know why, it just does. So if you still have claims, and there's a lot of us, a lot of people, not us, but a lot of people out there that are still in the very beginning process of learning the VA system. The best way to learn a VA system is to get one of your kids, get onto My HealtheVet, sign up for it, and let your kids go through it with you because your kids are going to know more about computers or iPhones than what we do. Because, that they're just more knowledgeable. And so, you got anything else you want
Makes
to add?
sense. No, I just being on understanding My Healthy Vet, whether you have one of your own kids or a fellow vet, or of course your VSO officer, most of them would be happy to help you walk through that. You can do it on your phone. I find that more challenging. It's easier to have a laptop, bigger screens. But yes, if you're not on it, get on it, and
Yeah.
it's just easier to get things done. Quite honestly, if you need an appointment or you got a question for your doctor, type it in. If you need urgent care, that's different. You go to the emergency room.
And
But
well, you not only, no, that's not true, because on VA.gov, you can type in regular urgent cares, and they will, in your area, you type in your zip code, and they literally have urgent cares. Like if you have a sinus infection, you can't go to VA because you're not getting an appointment. I get on there and I just type in, what urgent cares can I go to? Gives you a zip code, boom. And it tells you what urgent cares the VA's hooked up with. And it's almost all of them, because we got one on every damn street corner out here. But I use one in Conroe. And you get to go 3 times a year. 3 times. I've already been twice. And so I'm sure I'll burn one more time to go there. But you can go to urgent cares that the VA works with, and they're regular urgent cares. I'm sure y'all got them in your area. So you need to check that, John. And for the people in the rural areas that live over an hour, really over 45 minutes, I don't know why they say it's an hour, but really, if you live 45 minutes away, and it's an emergency, either go to emergency room or check with your local urgent cares and see if they take the VA, because a lot of them do now. And when they write your prescription at urgent care, like with ours, it's set up with Walmart. They say Walgreens, but it's bullshit. It's set up with HEB and Kroger's. And it gives you a list. And what they do is give you a 5-day supply of medicine. And then they send to VA, and VA sends you the rest of the medicine until you can get there. So your urgent cares can tell you where your local pharmacies are that will send you medicine. And so that's important. A lot of people don't know that. I just happened to get lucky one day, and I called the clinic, and they're like, hey, over at such and such place, I'll give you the address. You can go over there. You can get checked in. I walk in, get seen every time. Their favorite thing to do is give me a shot in the butt of steroid shots. And and then 15 minutes later, I feel better. It's just, and I go there for sinus infections. And then, but next week, let's talk a little bit about next week, because I'm going to try to get Ashley on and she's a VES nurse practitioner. And we're going to talk about...
She's a CMP exam.
Yeah, we're going to talk about CP exams when you go to file, navigating that part, but in a different way. Not like we did when we ask her questions. I'm going to strictly go about asking her, and John is going to ask her strictly about how is the best way to navigate through the VA when you're filing a claim, and what the 50-50 means, what I was talking about. And so that way we get better information about doing that. And I know a lot of you are already like, damn, I'm at 100%, I already know all this stuff. But you may know somebody out there who's just learning it. A lot of us do. Man, send them to see this, because this is going to be could be a 10-part series, because we are going to have guests that are going to come on, because we're going to get more into depth on also navigating with the crisis health line, navigating through, just more parts of it. The crisis hotline, I think, will be an important one. VS is going to be an important one. And then we're going to talk about death burials. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that at our age we need to be thinking about. Retirement homes. We're going to talk about how to already get yourself prepared so that way our kids don't have to worry about it when we all, get dementia, Parkinson's, and all the crap that they're saying we could get later on in life that were more acceptable too. And so I appreciate y'all tuning in. Look, we're still trying to build up YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. You can go to Facebook. Just click on any of the links there that has the videos of me and John, me, John Way, me, John Sean, me, John, any of it. And it clicks it over to YouTube. Have everybody subscribe. We're trying to get that channel to come up. And, of course, in each one of the series, when we're done, the producer puts the links. So it has links to all kinds of stuff that we provide on here. Going to Patreon, going to YouTube, the research that Nova's putting on. And I want to get more research websites that people can click on, go check out. But, remember, the research is important. That's going to be a part of navigating through the VA with research. But I want to do it not just about Desert Storm vets or Gulf War vets or Vietnam vets or any other vet. I also want to talk about the children. I think that will be important. I want to get Dr. Glum on, and I want to talk to her about, what can our children do? What's best for them. You got anything you want to add?
Oh man, I appreciate everybody's patience with us tonight at the beginning because had to work through some technical difficulties, but no, we got it done. So
yeah, and don't worry, I'm gonna make fun of John at the in the after show. I always do, and that's what's cool about and we get some deep some deep conversations in the after show shows, guys, on Patreon. Y'all might want to go check them out because we get some crazy stuff. And I am going to have a San Jose, the USS San Jose, the ship I was on, reunion. So you Army guys and you Marines that weren't on ships, Air Force people can understand what sailors go through without seeing land. And I don't want to hear any comments, and we're going to talk about what we do when we hit ports and, how we all go crazy when we hit ports and we all hit the bars. That's going to be a fun one. And it's going to be about what a supply ship does for the Navy and the importance of it. It's just as important as an aircraft carrier. I wouldn't mess with back then battleships or destroyers. I wouldn't screw with any of them on a supply ship because we didn't really have the guns for it. But I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And email me. I've been getting a lot of emails. Thank you for that. And it's at kevinsimon@gulfwarsideeffects.com. Email me if you want to tell your story. I want you to come on. I want y'all to tell your stories on here. And I want everybody to have a great night. And we will see y'all next week. Thank you.